The investigation of President Trump's campaign seems to be homing in on several key figures while also widening to include more countries. Meanwhile, Trump is spinning a wild conspiracy theory about the FBI spying on him. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. The president was holed up in the White House over the weekend with no public events, while the New York Times and other outlets published one new bombshell after another about his campaign's ties to foreign governments. So naturally, Trump got up bright and early Sunday morning and unfurled one of his longest and most incoherent Twitter rants yet. In fact, it would take too long to have someone read the whole thing for you, so as it goes, we're just going to have to speed it up. Here it is.
Things are really getting ridiculous. The failing and crooked, but not as crooked as Hillary Clinton, New York Times has done a long and boring story indicating that the world's most expensive witch hunt has found nothing on Russia and me, so now they're looking at the rest of the world.
At what point does this soon-to-be $20 million witch hunt, composed of 13 angry and heavily conflicted Democrats and 2 people who have worked for Obama for 8 years, stop? They've found no collusion with Russia, no obstruction, but they aren't looking at the corruption.
The Hillary Clinton campaign, where she deleted 33,000 emails, got 145 million lost secretaries, they paid to buy $700,000 and get off the FBI hook along with Terry M and so much more Republicans. And real Americans should start getting tough on this scam.
The witch hunt is given up on Russia and is looking at the rest of the world. It should easily be able to take it from the election data. It's important Republican Party. Don't worry about them. Despite abuse, missing emails, or fraudulent dossier. The second is to discover so much corruption that the Democratic National Committee refused to hand over the charge against Democrats FBI. They put homes, offices, and we're afraid to take survey ads.
And don't worry about not being able to follow that. It actually makes less sense at normal speed. By the way, Twitter, did I ever thank you for raising the character limit? I didn't? Good. Also, it's not fair that a president who won't read a 2-page press briefing makes us read a 6-part Twitter rant. This rant is so long it technically qualifies as a mini-series. Look for it streaming this summer on NetDix. Now, Trump is, in his usual way, conflating and lying about a whole bunch of issues. And one of them is a story published over the weekend about his son, Don Jr. Now, we already knew Don Jr. held that infamous Trump Tower meeting where he met with Russians offering dirt on Hillary Clinton during the 2016 campaign. But what we found out over the weekend was that it wasn't just Russia. The New York Times reports that Don Jr. also met secretly with an emissary for the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia who said the countries wanted to help Donald Trump win. Now, this story is crazy for a variety of reasons. For one thing, it was arranged by Eric Prince, the private security contractor and the former head of Blackwater. So Saudi princes, Don Jr., and the Blackwater guy. The only people missing from that meeting were Dr. Strangelove and Monty Burns. Now, Prince was interviewed by the House Intelligence Committee last year as part of their investigation, and in his sworn testimony, it really seems like he straight up lied about his role in the Trump campaign, claiming he was just a casual supporter. What role did you play in the Donald Trump for President campaign? I played no official role or really unofficial role. I supported him monetarily. I attended some fundraisers. I wrote some papers on different foreign policy positions. So aside from writing these papers, donating, supporting, and a yard sign in my yard. Just when you think you know every evil thing about Eric Prince, you find out he's a yard sign guy. What did the yard sign say? Looking for a secret meeting? Interested in world domination? Call Eric Prince at 1-800-EVIL. Now let's just step back here and consider how many times Trump aides have lied or contradicted themselves in official testimony. When it comes to meetings with foreign governments during the campaign, just last week, the Senate Judiciary Committee released transcripts of its meeting with Don Jr. And here's one portion of that testimony where he changed his story multiple times in just a few sentences. What types of interactions were you aware of? Trump campaign officials and Russian government personnel? I was aware of none. Have you seen press reports about various meetings, such as with Ambassador Kislyak? If I could scratch my last statement, yes, I did read about that after the fact. Were you aware of those at the time they occurred? I knew something. I believe there was a meeting there. I wasn't part of the meeting, but yeah, I believe I was aware that it occurred. I didn't know about it. I knew about it after the fact. I knew about it when it happened. Man, Trump nailed it when he named this one. He looks like someone who can't keep his story straight. Let's also call him Donald. And then there's the fact that the official story from the Trump camp has always been that Trump himself was unaware of the meeting with the Russians. But then last week, Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, seemed to admit that he might have been aware at the time and just forgot about it. Giuliani said he would be surprised if the president knew at the time of the controversial June 2016 Trump Tower meeting, but even if he did, it would have made sense if it subsequently slipped his mind. Honestly, I would be surprised if he could remember. What a comfort it must be to have Rudy Giuliani in your corner. Don't worry, boss. I told them that maybe you knew about it, but you're too stupid to remember. You're welcome. Now, the other crazy part of this latest story about Don Jr.'s meeting with Gulf states is who else was in his office when the group met. Till now, there have been a few Trump aides who have managed to keep their names out of the special counsel's investigation, but the New York Times reports that when they arrived, Stephen Miller, a top campaign aide who is now a White House advisor, was in Donald Trump Jr.'s office as well. Ah, yes, top campaign aide Stephen Miller. Although Miller wasn't actually in the office for the meeting, he was right outside in his usual spot on the ledge. So, with special counsel Robert Mueller's investigators closing in on several key Trump allies and finding out more about his campaign's ties to other foreign governments, Trump and his team are doing everything they can to obstruct the investigation. And now, Trump is spinning a wild new conspiracy theory about the FBI implanting a spy in the Trump campaign, and he wants the government to look into it. Trump tweeted on Sunday, "I hereby demand, and will do so officially tomorrow, that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI or DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes." Well, I've heard Donald Trump say a lot of things, but I never thought one of those things would be hereby. I hereby demand an investigation, albeit heretofore unheard of. Nonetheless, I demand one forthwith. Now, the FBI did have an informant working with them, but that's not a spy. I mean, seriously, you think they needed a spy to catch you colluding with Russia? All they needed was a microphone. You literally looked into the camera on TV and said, "Russia, if you're listening." That's like coming out of the bathroom with white powder under your nose and saying, "I am ready to party because I just did cocaine." This has been a closer look.